Why was the Hollywood sign built, and why did it almost fall apart? Those 9 classic letters didn't just walk themselves up the side of a California mountain and plop themselves into the ground. This video will discuss the history of the Hollywood sign, from its origins to its destruction to Playboy magazine. A long time ago, when humans had hope in the future of humanity, Southern California was an affordable place to live. Now, Southern California is not an affordable place to live. This random house I found on Zillow near the Hollywood sign cost $1.5 million. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. $1.5 million. So why is this relevant to the video, you ask? The Hollywood sign wasn't built to represent the glitz and glamour of the movie industry, or even the city of Hollywood itself. Instead, the Hollywood sign was built to promote real estate, baby! In 1923, mules carried 13 uppercase letters up the side of a mountain. These 45-foot letters spelled out Hollywood land. The whole point of the sign was to advertise the Hollywood Land Company. Get it? Hollywood Land, because it was in the city of Hollywood and there was land available, so it was Hollywood. It's ironic. 100 years ago, land developers were begging people to buy land in Hollywood so much, they slapped their real estate company's name on the side of a mountain, and today, in this same area, you can get a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house for $1.5 million. So you know what, Hollywood Land Company? I think your promotion worked a little bit too well, okay? The Hollywood land sign was made of thin sheet metal placed on telephone poles. It wasn't the most stable thing in the world. The Hollywood land sign was only supposed to be on Mount Lee for 1.5 years. For those of us living in flat areas, it's not like putting words in the mountainous western United States is that mind-blowing of a concept. I'm an East Coast person myself, and when I moved out to Utah to study at BYU, I saw a lot of towns with their names on the side of mountains. At BYU, we didn't have the whole name of the school, we just had the letter Y. Just the Y. On rough days, I would stare at that Y and think to myself, Jameson, why did I decide to get my undergraduate degree in Utah? Why am I here? Why did I think it was a good idea to attend Brigham? The decision was made to keep the Hollywood land sign up after the first initial 18 months because the sign quickly became iconic, but that sign was not built to last. The golden age of Hollywood kind of cemented the Hollywood land sign in pop culture history. It makes sense. If your city's famous for movie making, and there's a giant sign with your city's name on it, plus the word land, you're going to show that sign in establishing shots of movies taking place in your city. Except back then, the sign wasn't nearly as famous as it is now. A lot of movies used other Hollywood landmarks for establishing shots, but that's neither here nor there. The Hollywood land sign became famous, but it was not designed to withstand the cruelty of time. Just as many dumb TikTok videos will not stand the cruelty of time either. I'm talking about my own videos, that was a mistake. When it was built, the sign was lit up at night and altered between flashing the words Holly, Wood, and Land. That might sound nice in theory, but imagine looking out at Mount Lee and seeing the word wood lit up. Just the word wood. That's stupid. In the 1930s, the decision was made to turn off the lights on the sign at night because it was the 1930s and nobody had any money. Then in the 1940s, the Hollywood land real estate developers went out of business. The Hollywood land sign became a rotting corpse of itself for all to see, advertising a defunct company while falling apart bit by bit. The H fell over and the rest of the sign was looking kinda terrible. In 1949, there was a war over what to do with the Hollywood land sign. Or at least very heated arguments. Maybe casual arguments. I don't know. I wasn't there. Local residents told the city, tear down the sign, it's ugly. And the city was like, but our legacy. I don't know why I spoke for them in a Mickey Mouse voice, but you get what I mean. In the end, the city of Hollywood won out. The sign was partially torn down though. In 1949, the city did make some improvements to the sign, but they didn't fix it all that well. The H was fixed. They took the land part of the sign off because why would a city want to advertise a defunct real estate company? Instead, by only saying Hollywood, the sign officially represented the city of Hollywood itself. But the sign still had the same structure from 1923, which wasn't built to last. Vandalism was frequent. In 1976, someone altered the sign to say Hollyweed by messing with the last 2 O's to show the residents of Hollywood their love for gardening. Such an innocent way to vandalize the landmark. So pure. So, I went to BYU. Hollyweed means what? The alterations were always undone, but still, the structure of the sign was weak. Speaking of weak structure, I'm going to break this video structure by sharing a word from our sponsor. Today's sponsor is me, asking you to like the video if you want. Because the higher the view to like ratio, the more people that YouTube pushes this video out to, so if you're enjoying it. The first O partially fell, kind of, and the second O fell over completely. The Hollywood sign was tragic. It was broken and overlooked a valley of high gas prices, high political tensions, and a poor economy because the 1970s were rough. The city of Hollywood was not jumping to fix the sign either. So who was gonna step in and fix the Hollywood sign? Playboy, baby! Once upon a time, there was a magazine called Playboy magazine. I don't know why I said it like that, it's still around. The person in charge of Playboy magazine was a guy named Hugh Heffner, and thanks to Hugh Heffner, the Hollywood sign was restored. Editing Jameson here to interrupt the video. I just got to the part where I mentioned Playboy magazine, and I wanted to have pictures of Playboy magazine, but I've never looked up Playboy magazine. BYU did not prepare me for so many boobs. Hugh Heffner organized a restoration campaign for the Hollywood sign in 1978. He got a bunch of famous Hollywood people to pay a very specific amount of $28,778 to sponsor an individual letter of the Hollywood sign. Everybody who sponsored a letter was a rich, famous person, except for Warner Brothers Records, who, for some reason, also participated. With all these sponsorships, the famous rich people and Warner Brothers Records, led by Hugh Heffner, paid to have the sign torn down and have a new, durable sign completely rebuilt in its place, which is the Hollywood sign that we see today. Now when you see the Hollywood sign, you can think to yourself, Playboy got that massive thing erected on the sign. I wrote that in here in my script to say, Playboy magazine. Okay, it was because of Hugh Heffner organized. Okay, that's the point. The famous rich people who sponsored letters and Warner Brothers Records were H. Terrence Donnelly, first O. Alice Cooper, first L. Les Kelly, second L. Gene Autry. Why did I decide to get my undergraduate degree in Utah? Hugh Heffner. W. Andy Williams. Second O. Giovanni Mazza. Editing Jameson again. I couldn't find a good picture of that Giovanni guy, but I did find a guy with the same name playing a violin on a basketball court. Third O. Warner Brothers Records. Thank you for being the only corporation to take one for the team. D. Dennis I don't know how to say his name's on screen, I don't know. They painted the sign in 2005. The Hollywood sign is not going anywhere anytime soon. Awesome, beautiful, awe-inspiring, whatever. You know what else isn't going anywhere anytime soon? My video discussing why we love movie villains but hate real villains. Yeah, terrible transition, I know, whatever. If you're curious why we love movie villains but hate real villains, click on this video next. Francis Liszt was the first pop star, if you want to call him that. Oh my gosh, France, take off your shirt!